Okay, welcome to Bitrix24 Live. I'm Damien Edwards, Commercial Manager of Bitrix24 Partners Interface. With me I have our Support Manager, Andy Naylor.
Hi guys, so throughout this session we're going to be taking your questions and hopefully answering them live on Bitrix. So we have a cloud version of Bitrix and also the on-premise version, so you can ask us questions about either. And you just do so by putting them in the box on YouTube. Or if you do have questions throughout the week, please do send us an email to live@intraface.com and we can answer them at the start of next session. So like we said, we're here every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I think we've got a couple of questions that have come in.
Yeah, well, firstly, our contact details are on the screen there, so if you want to get in touch with us afterwards, use those. We provide... and we can provide a demo and discussion about the different editions that are available and what's right for your business. We can provide a full implementation service, including customization and training on Bitrix24. And we provide a telephone support service as well, so for cloud or self-hosted accounts. So let's have a look, see if we've got any questions we had a question about assigning emails to a deal and how we go about doing that. And I had another connected question about similar thing in contacts, and it is possible, isn't it? And I think to assign an email to deal. So of course you can sync emails to the relevant record in the CRM. So if you go into your mail settings and add your email credentials, then it will, if you have an email, if the sender's email matches the email address in that record, it will sync the email into the record. So you can see on the right hand side, this is the activity. This is an outgoing email. I don't know if we've got an incoming email on this one that's been synced, but essentially they appear as an email inside this activity stream. So you can do it the normal way, just by adding your email. It does mean that every single email, incoming and outgoing, if you can find a contact on the CRM, it will sync it to the CRM, and that can start to use up quite a bit of space. And in fact, Bitrix are changing the policy on this. So on free accounts, there's going to be restrictions on how many, what you can do in regard of syncing, and going to be some restrictions on how long you can keep emails for. So you can sync everything, but it's not always the right answer for every business. You might not want to have that sort of level of activity on your contact record. So it is possible to send emails from Bitrix. I can send using your email address here, and that will record inside Bitrix. Now I understand that will also put a reference in the head of the email, and so incoming emails will sync back to that record. So the question was about deals, really. How can I sync an email to a deal? So you can do that. So if I go into a deal here, it is possible to send an email from a deal. Bitrix allows you to select, templates.
And it does just so when you've got the deal, obviously there's a contact associated to it or a company, and it will use one of those emails to send it to. Okay. So as Damien's saying, if you email straight from a deal, it does put a header in the email, which is invisible. Your customer will not know it's there. And if they were to reply, then the deal feeds back straight into that deal. So that's generally how it works.
Okay, so it's synced it to this contact, which is the first one. So let's have a look. I guess it doesn't sync it to both. So that's it. So it syncs it to the first contact.
I think you can choose though, can't you? So if we were to come into here, you can actually click off here, and then you can add the actual recipient that you wish. So if you didn't want it to default to the one that it comes with, you could actually find Graham Smith.
Oh, right, okay.
On here. So like you can see there, Graham Smith at Interface.
Yeah. Okay, so you can associate these with with deals. The way to sync all mail is to go into your mail link in your menu, and you can add your account. I guess there's a button here. We're already synced. Okay, you can connect a new one here, and the options to connect using any of those providers or map settings, and that provides you with a full inbox. So I can probably give you an update now on restrictions for those. So there are going to be some changes. So two-way sync for free accounts won't be available. This is happening from the 1st of May. Full two-way sync for paid accounts will be available. There's going to be some restrictions on temporary storage of emails not attached to CRM records or tasks. So if the email cannot find an email address that it matches inside a CRM record, then how long do we store those for? Well, currently on the cloud they're stored forever. That's going to change. So on free accounts they're not going to be stored at all. On CRM accounts, the CRM Plus accounts going to be 30 days. On standard accounts that's going to be 60 days, and on professional accounts they'll be 90 days. But you will get, if they can sync to a contact record, they will get stored forever. And I guess that includes also if you've got the option to create a lead if an email address doesn't exist, then it's going to stay. You're going to keep that item forever because it created a CRM record.
Okay, so I've got a question. I've got issues with internal calls. From my side, it's calling and waiting for a response, but on the other side, he didn't receive the call. We can't really diagnose issues that you're experiencing with Bitrix. So if you are having problems with internal calls, please do get in touch with Bitrix support if you're on one of the cloud versions, the paid versions.
Yeah. I wonder if it's, it depends whether it's cloud or self-hosted, isn't it? If it's self-hosted, there could be a few different...
Yeah, it's very difficult to diagnose. I think Bitrix will be able to support you. If you want our support, and our contact details will be up throughout the webinar, so you can get in touch and we can discuss any support contracts. So you said you got a Business 50, so that would be an on-premise version.
Yeah, so it could be that you don't have an SSL, I guess, that would prevent that from working.
It can be a range of different things. It can be ports, it can be... so probably the best thing to do is get in touch with us. Like I say, we can't really diagnose it on here because we can't jump onto your system. So
we have, one thing to say is we have an environment which is custom built for Bitrix. It's not the Bitrix VM, it's our own configured environment. It does set it up perfectly for Bitrix, and we will apply an SSL as well automatically for you. So that if you run it on our environment, that would I'm pretty sure that would resolve the issue. But yeah, we could have a look at it for you. We have a support contract under that. We'd be able to check it for you.
Yeah, that is a paid for service. So if you've got the Business 50 license, it does come with Bitrix support. So you can go to the Bitrix24.com website, click on support. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see the ticketing area to access that support. So it does come with that license. So if you don't want to, I'd try that first. That's the best thing to do. So another point, you're implementing Bitrix for photo and your media events business. Yeah, I think it's good for a range of businesses, isn't it? Yeah. With regards to how you can get those leads in to Bitrix, work on them, and then follow them up, ensuring that you
you've got everything. You've got the sales front end where you can do your prospecting, and then you can create projects, groups to deliver each of those individual projects. You can store photos and create tasks and things like that inside those groups, and then we could have a look at a group. But you can create a project group, a group for each project. You'd either create a group for each individual project, or you create a group for each individual client. If the clients are coming back again and again, it might be that actually create a group for each client, and then create a task for each individual project. Got one here called web design to deliver the project. Depending on the size of the project, You create a task for each project or a whole group for each project. Inside a group, you've got tasks, calendars, a drive, so you can store all your images and documents relating to the project. And then you can create lists inside a project, which can be really useful. So you can have an inventory of stock, a list for expenses or other costs. Let's just open up expenses list. So you can add expenses for each of the items that costs you've incurred on the project, and then you can trigger business processes on these expenses, or you can filter out to find specific information. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely for any really business, it's going to be suitable for you. You can take advantage of the HR tools as well to allow your team to request leave and request purchases and things like that.
I've got a question. How can I apply the live chat button for my website? So Bitrix does come with the live chat. Let's just jump into the cloud, and we'll jump into the contact center here. So you can see on the contact center you should have a live chat widget. So what you need to do first of all is configure this. You click into it, and we can click on live chat and click on configure. So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to set up your settings. Who's going to receive these chats? So in ours, we've got a queue to everybody. So once somebody submits a live chat message on your website, it will automatically get distributed to each one of these straight away. And then it's the first person to pick it up. It will disappear off the other agent's system. So once you've configured everything, then you need to go to the CRM, and then you need to go to website widgets. So if you click on website widget, click on create widget, and then you can see here we've got open channel. So the first thing that you would need to do is click on here and select, because you've configured it, select live chat. So that would be your open channel widget. So that's what you're going to need essentially if you've got live chat. You can also include an inquiry form on your widget. So we have, if you use the CRM forms, you can specify which form you want on. I've got it on here. Sorry, which form you want to use, and then we've got a callback. So when you create a CRM form, there's a little checkbox at the bottom that says make this form a callback form, and then if you do that, they will appear in this list. So those are the three options you've got with your little website widget. You can then specify what color and where you want to place it on your website. So it may be that you want it in the bottom left-hand corner, the bottom right-hand corner. And then you can specify the messages. So once it pops up, you can see here, you can put your own little picture and your own message. So if you click on save, we need to give it a name. So we can say, just put web chat, click save, and then you can see here it'll appear here. So I've just got web chat, and then all you need to do is get this embed code. Click on the embed code here, click copy to clipboard, and then paste it in just before the body tag of your website. So if you've got a WordPress site, you just put it in the footer template. Paste that into the footer template, and then you will see something very similar to if we go into so if you go here, then if you click on click to close, you can see here this is exactly what it looks like. And because we included a web chat, a inquiry form, and a callback form, those are the three options. If you don't want an inquiry form or a callback form, just simply go into the widget itself. So we can click into edit here and scroll down, and you can just switch those off. So you don't want the form or you don't want the callback form. And essentially all that will do is take those two icons off your chat. Click on there. It won't appear because we're currently logged into our demonstration site, but that's essentially all you need to do. If somebody posts a message, it will then come through your open channel widget here, and you can directly message between Bitrix and your website. And you can also pick those up on the mobile app as well. So you can pick up any open channel chats on your mobile.
Yeah. Okay, there's our contact details, in case you need to know who we are. Bitrix site is only available for cloud version. So if you're referring to Bitrix sites, the web builder application, then no, it's available for cloud and self-hosted. Bitrix online store has been available on the cloud for quite a long time. It's just become available on the self-hosted as a beta, and so no, they're available on both cloud and self-hosted. So there are two products here essentially. So we have sites and online store. So sites allows you to create general public website from a range of templates, and online store, as it suggests, is a public website but allows you to add products to that web page. So, but they're separate modules and they're both available. If you don't see it on your self-hosted version, then you need to go to your control panel and you need to go to Marketplace, Platform Update. So in case you don't know, the self-hosted has a back end to it. You don't get on the cloud. It allows you to do some extra stuff. You need to go to your settings and allow beta versions. So move from only stable versions to beta versions, and then refresh your updates and install latest updates, and you'll get that. You will, if you're running this as a live instance, you need to be careful about running beta versions. You will find you maybe have some issues from time to time with some of the components that are in beta, but it is available.
I think maybe once you install that, once you apply those updates, I think you may actually need to install the module as well in the control panel.
Oh right, okay. Do you need to do that?
I do believe so. If you're on the self-hosted and you want in the online store, you will need to go to settings, system settings, click into modules, and then you'll be able to. I do believe you'll need to be able to enable it in here. So, not sure which one it is, but. Or does it come with the sites module?
I think it comes with sites, but you're right. Sometimes that if it's a brand new module, then it needs to be installed in here. And of course, in here you can remove modules as well if you want to remove things.
This is
mail. We talked about mail. It actually might be that actually you think that that's creating too much traffic on your server, and it can create a lot. You might want to remove that. It's an option. It's an option if you've got self-hosted. Can we do automation based on comment added on a lead or deal? I need to be informed whenever staff adds a comment. I'm going to say, don't think you can, but let's have a look. Can go into here. What we want to do is see something when a comment is added. So it sounds like it would be a useful feature. We've got an incoming email that matches that. An email on that record can trigger an activity, a message sent out. If someone's viewed an email that you've sent out, someone's called you.
Yeah, you can't do comment.
You can't do comment.
You definitely. The reason why you can't do a comment is because in Bitrix your activities are classed as in the CRM. Your activities are classed as emails, phone, task, and meeting. So you could notify somebody once one of those activities. Comments aren't classed as activities by Bitrix.
Yeah.
So, and that's the reason why. And you couldn't even do it really, could you, if you did a business process and you did it on modify, it wouldn't be classed as modifying the actual lead, because it would only be delete fields that you would modify and then you would get notified.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can. I think it's definitely a good question, and maybe something that we do put forward to Bitrix for that.
You could create a field, and then you could create a process to check whether that field's been changed or not. So you could create a text field called comment, and then if somebody adds some content into that, you would have to create a process whereby you copy that and then check whether it's changed. And it'd be pretty simple to do a business process to do that. Probably not go through it now, but if you got in touch with us, we could set it up for you. And you could check whether that comment's been changed from blank to someone added something, or whether they've updated that field. But really, that's not ideal. You want to add your comments on the right hand side so you can see that activity there. So I don't know how we delete that now. Do it again. No. Okay, no. So we have created a process, I think, where people want to see last comment and things like that. We've done that on the self-hosted. You'd need a self-hosted version.
I think it could. The next question is, can it be customized on the self-hosted? Yeah, I definitely think it could, because we have a client who's got a process that checks activity on leads, and if nothing's happened in 24 hours, then it basically moves on to the next person. Yeah. And what they wanted to do was class a comment as an activity, but as standard, obviously, what we've just said, you can't do that. So it would be very similar to that process that we've done, is classing a comment as an activity, and then that would then fall into that window of actioned a comment on a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so get in touch with us if you want to.
Can we access Bitrix CRM on the mobile app? Yep, you can. Yes. Yeah, I think you can access, I can't show you it right now, but I think you can access everything. I think, apart from the settings page, you can access everything within on the mobile app: leads, deals, companies, contacts, invoices, quotes, even your activity. So, I don't think you can make calls from there. So
you couldn't do reporting, can you?
You can't do that sort of management reporting or settings or stuff, can you? But yeah, you can ring, you can dial from there as well. So.
Yeah, you don't see, for example, like when you're in the leads, you don't see the Kanban view or anything like that. You basically just see the list view, and you can still move lead statuses up and deal statuses up. But yeah, in terms of reporting and CRM forms and the settings side of things,
yeah,
you can.
It's also a standard application that you download for free from the App Store. But we can actually customize parts of it, so it's not straightforward. But we can certainly change some of the theme colors and things. But we can also change some of the fields, so we can actually put custom fields on there and things if you want it changed. Or I think one of the big things is probably removing fields, because on the browser version, you might have let's go into another site. In the browser version, you might have a lot of fields that you don't want to show. I think as standard, they all show kind of on the mobile app, but we could hide those for you to make it more relevant to what you do, what the user needs it for.
Yeah, I think as standard, you can't actually include some custom fields, can you? Some custom field types you can't include on the mobile app, but again, we've done the development to show those custom fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, we can chat later if you're someone looking for a Bitrix specialist. Yeah, we can chat later, of course. Get in touch with us on our email address, or you can email Damien at Interface or Andy at Interface.
How to generate new projects from leads or deals. So, I mean, there is a number of ways you can do this, and we have covered it quite a lot in our project webinar, haven't we? But if you're talking about in terms of a project as a work group, we have a good example here already set up. So if you're going into a deal, and we click into a deal here, then what we can do, we could do this on a click of a stage if we wanted to. So we could generate a new project work group on a stage. But we actually have this here, so we click on the little workflow icon, and then we can Better Business Process Project. So if we click on this, what we have here is a pop-up form. We can call it, you might want to type this if you just call it Bitrix Live.
Well, not much better.
And then if we add some project members in, so we'll add ourselves in, Mark, Mike. And then what we can also do, select a document from our system. So let's have a look if we've got any. We have an image. Click on Start, and that, in essence, is going to generate the project. So you can see here, it's got a notification. It's created a work group. So if you go to our work groups, actually click onto there, and we'll be able to see a project called Bitrix Live. So that's the one we've just created. And then it's added the people we've added in. It should have created some tasks. So we've got a website design task. So it's a structured way of creating this project. And then in our drive, we can click in proposal, and you should see untitled 1 PNG. So, like I say, it may be good for you to check into the project. I think it's either the project webinar or the business process webinar. We do it on both, I do believe. But if I'll just quickly show you an overview of the automation behind that. And we go into the deal templates and then Better Business Process Project. And it's as simple as that, really. Click into template parameters up here. Those are the form fields we originally filled out with different types. And then we used in the other section down here, we used a create new workgroup action block. We used the task action block, and it's just a simple case of dragging and dropping if we wanted to include more. The only important thing you need to always remember is to assign the tasks or images or files to the work group you've created. So if I just
so it's called here social network group, isn't it? But it's a project group, so a bit misleading in the description.
So if you click into there, click on additional results, and you can see project work group. Click on group ID, and all that means is this task is going to get created and get assigned to the work group that we've just created. So it's great. I definitely recommend having a look at the project webinar.
Okay, how do we get an offer from you guys for customising Bitrix to suit our business needs and challenges? So you can email us, and we can have a call and discuss what's involved. We can provide setup for you. We can scope out your requirements. We can implement those requirements inside Bitrix, and then we can provide telephone support for you for when you want to further improve things or fix any problems you've got. But yeah, we can give you a price to do that for you if you got in touch with us.
How do you make a product discount related workflow in the cloud version? So I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that in terms of product discount. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're referring to Bitrix e-commerce store, you can add coupons and things. Mm-hmm. That's a product discount. Mm-hmm. But maybe you just need to provide a little bit more information of what you mean, because I'm not sure what a product discount.
Yeah, we had a similar question. Want to program a discount based on units ordered. So if you order from 0 to 10, it's a set price, and then 11 plus it's a discount, and then 20 plus is a discount. It's not really, so it depends when you're ordering them. So I guess where you're going to, I guess you're referring to putting a product into a quote or something. Don't think really that's possible to do on the standard cloud edition. So I can edit this product, and we can select our items, and we can put our quantity in here. But you can't automatically inject a discount based on that. So those are not dynamic in that sense. But you can put your discount in manually. We've done a bit of customization to this, though, haven't we? I think where for a client they wanted a lot of this, where they could control just what discount their sales agents were offering, and we built it for them. So it would need building. It doesn't do it as standard, but it can be done.
It would be, you wouldn't be able to do it on the cloud though,
No.
just to point out.
No.
You can, like Damien said, we've created something before where there are quantity price breaks. So somebody orders 10 at 9, then it's going to be $10. Somebody orders 25, then it's going to be $8. We've done those kinds of discount price breaks before, but only on the on-premise version.
Yeah. But I think we're saying that on-premise means that you don't have to host it on your in your own data center. You can rent web space relatively cheaply, or we can host it for you in our data center. You access the product exactly the same over the internet as a cloud solution, just as we're doing with this. This is a self-hosted solution. This one's hosted on Google's cloud compute platform. So you access it through a browser, host it on any domain you want, and it's essentially a cloud product, but you manage where it's hosted. So you don't need to have a lot of in-house infrastructure to do it. Cost-wise, you can rent some space, which can be flexible space. You can start small and then grow that if you need to grow it.
Can we make a workflow based on product discount? Essentially, no. On the cloud, you can't. You can't put product information into a workflow on the cloud. So if you have a business process or a workflow that's connected to a lead, a deal, and it's pumping you can't place the product information into that workflow on a cloud version. It's not possible. We can on the on-premise version for the sole reason that the on-premise version has got an action block called PHP, a PHP cloud block, and you can actually find the products that are associated to however the workflows run. So on-premise, needs a bit of custom code. On the cloud, you can't.
Yeah. Put our contact details up, see if we've got any more questions. So we've had quite a lot of questions which refer to customization, which is not possible on the cloud. I mean, there is a lot you can do on the cloud. You can actually customize all the fields in here, so I can add in custom fields. Well, firstly, you can move around the standard fields like this. It's very, very flexible in that respect. You can select additional fields that you have from here to bring into the record. Here you can create custom fields, etc. You can do a lot of customization. Once you've changed how they look, you can set this then so that all users see the same custom page layout. So the CRM is really customizable. I think work groups and project groups are probably a little bit less so, but although you can remove modules from work groups, can't you? Individual work groups.
And I think if you are missing something on the cloud version, so we're on the cloud version here, it is always worth checking to see what exists in the application store. So if you're on like a paid version, a commercial version of Bitrix, you can have a look at what's in here already. So we have customers that have connected QuickBooks. So again, you don't need the on-premise version for some of those things. Obviously, it's a little bit easier if they don't. Well, if they don't exist on here, you can't do it on the cloud unless you're going to go via the webhook option. Mm-hmm. But on the on-premise, you do have a lot more flexibility. But if you are on the cloud, come here first, have a look at what. So if we typed in QuickBooks, I think QuickBooks, it would come up. So I think it does anyway. There you go. So there's a couple of different options for that. That's just one. There are many in here. MailChimp. There's a new mind map. I think it's called Mind Map for workgroups, which has proved quite popular recently. So that's another handy one to have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we create one lead and it's converted into a deal. After 3 days, no action on that deal. The deal automatically delete and that related lead go to previous stage. So I can make this process. You can't make that process exactly as you want it because you can't. Once you've converted a lead to a deal, you can't convert it back. Leads I mean, you can do it differently. You could do it on a deal where you go back to the beginning stage and you could even have a stage at the beginning of a deal called lead stage or evaluation or qualification stage, should I say. But leads really are for initial qualification. You can actually go into CRM mode here. You can actually decide whether you want to use leads or not. It's an additional module or stage in your sales process that allows you to capture inquiries from multiple sources. Bitrix has open channels which allows you to capture leads from Facebook, from web forms, from chat widgets on your website that we've looked at. They all come in as leads, and then you can decide from your list of leads which ones are genuine and want to follow up. But when you click on convert, you get the option to convert to different records. In this case, I convert to a deal, a contact, and a company. When you do that, it can't be converted back. But I think you can create the process just inside a deal. Maybe don't use leads at all. But what you want to do, after 3 days, no action on that deal, the deal automatically delete. I think what you need to do after 3 days, if there's no action on that, then you want to just refer or change the deal back to an early stage or something. So you can go into your automation and
try to control them, couldn't you, as well, to a supervisor, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can put in. I don't know if you can change stage with a time period. Oh yeah, you can. So after in 3 days, we can change stage. So we have an in-dev stage on this pipeline that we're looking at. But you could have any of these stages. If there's no activity for 3 days, you could change them back to the initial stage. This initial stage could be called new deal. You can't do it as you described, but you can do it. You can do it like this.
Yeah, but the only thing with that is that wouldn't check to see if there's been no activity.
Oh right, okay, yeah, sorry, yes.
So that would change the stage back.
Oh, sorry, yes, absolutely, yeah. You need.
I'm just trying to think how you would do it on the cloud version.
No, but it's I mean, if it's not progressed through the stages, it will change it back, but it doesn't look for activity. Absolutely, sorry.
But if you're looking for activity, then I'm trying to think if there. Yeah, there is the one there, isn't there?
We did actually do a custom feature for this just recently, very similar to this, where it was checking for activity and moves the stages, yeah. But it was custom.
Yeah, it was custom. I'm just trying to think if you can check to see if the lead has been, or the deal in this case has not been worked on, and an activity again. The problem is that you've got is that, and the one that we found recently with a client is that their sales agents were writing comments, and it's going back to the comments point again, and they were thinking, yeah, I've actually worked on this and I've made my notes on this, but Bitrix doesn't recognise a comment as an activity, so we needed to create custom code to realise a comment is an activity from a sales agent. So it sounds like you would come across the same issue, so you would need an on-premise version to be able to check for comments, calls, emails, tasks, meetings, those 5 kinds of activities, and then if there's not one of those, send it back.
You could also, obviously people might game this a little bit and just add notes in to get around it. So maybe you could instead just actually use the stages and use that automation whereby if it doesn't progress in a certain number of days to the next stage, then it does get notified or moved back, or your supervisor is notified of it. You could request, as you progress through these stages, you can request additional information that is populated in custom fields. So they wouldn't be able to progress the stage without actually adding that extra information. So they wouldn't do it just for the sake of it. You could have some mandatory fields they need to complete. Might be better, and then you're asking them to update the stage, but you're also asking them to qualify the reasons why they're updating those stages.
Yeah, the activity thing always does come up a lot, doesn't it? I think because you do want to keep these leads and deals moving, and like you say, I think depending on the activity, you would need some custom. But if you're going down Damien's method, then yeah, you can notify if it is sat in a particular stage for a given amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, you could also just change responsible person after a period of time as well. So if the deal doesn't change stage, we could move it on to somebody else, either a supervisor or just somebody else in the team. So yeah, try and maybe use the stages rather than comments in the deal.
One of the questions that came up this week just by a customer that inquired that they were a little bit disappointed that they had to pay for SMS on commercial accounts. So for those of you that don't know, Bitrix does have the ability to, if you went into a contact and let's go into here because we've got it set up. Go into a contact and Mark Moon, I believe. There, what we can do is send SMS messages out, which is really handy. So we've got one set up, a provider, and we can send a message, hello. And we can put whatever we want in here, click send. And that will then send, as you can see here, has it gone on here? Yeah, just have a quick refresh. So in essence, you can send SMS messages out on a contact by contact basis. So you can see here, send message, it's got a delivery error, probably because we've not got it connected up. But there's a record of your SMS being sent out. Now, you do have to pay, obviously, for each SMS that gets sent out. And when we were in the application store, there are a number of providers that you can use. Just type in SMS in the application store, and then you just research to see which is best for you. I think the one that Bitrix says is Twilio. So if you were to Google Twilio and Bitrix24, it will give you a complete sheet on how to set it up in Twilio and how to configure it and adapt it into Bitrix. It's very straightforward steps to do. But it not only just lets you send messages to contacts and companies and leads and deals, you also have the ability to click into CRM marketing and use the SMS campaign tool. So you can create an SMS mailing list from your CRM and fire out an SMS campaign, as long as you've got the SMS connected.
Yeah. Here's our details again. I've got a question here about saying in emails when deals are at particular stages. That's we sort of looked at that, but so again back into automation.
I think a good one as well is what we've just spoke about with SMS. You can do the same as well with that, can't you?
Yeah, so you can go into your automation. When we're waiting on client, you might want to send a follow-up email. I can do that. Add the details of the content of the email. You can do the same thing for SMS as well. Select your provider. That one's not connected. That one's connected. So yeah, you can send out text message, SMS message, or email. Can also do robocalls, which is an automated voice message. Send via open channel. Too short, to be honest, how that works, how we connect to an open channel. But
I think the lead would have to come through an open channel, so you can connect to Facebook or Instagram or live chat. If they've come from that source, you can then send a message back via that source because they've initiated the contact with you.
Yeah, so we can do that with Facebook. Yeah, we can do that with Skype as well, can't we? So it might be quite good on Skype. Send a message back to Skype.
Yeah, and just to touch upon, because we've not had any questions, but if you do ever want to, just go back into here and click into the contact center. If you do ever want to connect social networks, click into contact center here, and you can see the options that Bitrix has. So you can see, as we've just said, Facebook comments, you can message Skype. One of the good ones, one of the new ones, is if you use Facebook for advertising, you can actually create your CRM form in the CRM in Bitrix. Click into your Facebook lead ads, and actually use that form in one of your ads. So if I clicked on Facebook lead ad and then went to the Facebook ad network, when you log in to actually see your Facebook account and where you set up your ads, you'll see this form would then become available to select to use in an ad. So it's really good to integrate. And you can see a return on investment then. The new sales intelligence in Bitrix actually sees that connection as well. So you can...
Yep. If you play Spotify music on stream, do you get copyright? I guess you want to know if you have to pay for the rights. Don't know. Probably.
I've got no. I don't really know what you mean.
Yeah.
So if you play Spotify music on stream on what?
I think Spotify, but you can play Spotify music. Well,
you can't play it through Bitrix though.
No,
So it would be.
No, I don't know. I don't know how you would do that. Maybe you can share a link. I mean, Bitrix is a social network at its heart, so you can, send out posts to anyone in the business from here. It might be that you can put a link in here, allow you to click and play some music off Spotify. And yeah, if you're doing that, you're probably going to have to, depends on what Spotify think of it, I guess. But they'll have policies on it, no doubt. Not too sure.
What can I use? I don't get copyright while streaming if I want to play music. I don't know. Bitrix is not a music streaming service, so you just have to go to the streaming service that you want to use and check their terms and conditions, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd have to play some some music that doesn't have any copyright. But I mean, any music that's copyrighted, you're not allowed to, I guess, broadcast publicly. But I don't know. So, see if we've got any more questions. Post your questions in there. Got about 5 minutes. And okay, I don't think we've got any more questions. If you want to view our webinars, we do a webinar on a Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time every Monday on different subjects. We look at CRM, project management, HR tools, business processes, etc. You go to intraface.com/webinars and you can register there, or if you subscribe to Bitrix24 on YouTube and Intraface as well, then you'll receive a notification when we have a live YouTube session.
Yeah, and if we've covered anything for you today, this recording will go straight on to the Bitrix24 YouTube channel, so you can watch it back if we've covered a point that you may need to just follow, especially the one where we're just setting up the live chat maybe. You can follow that one, so you can use it for your website. And as Damien said as well, we're here this session's every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you want your questions to be answered straight away on the next session, just drop us an email to either Damien or Andy at intraface.com, or you can email live at intraface.com as well. We will put those questions aside and answer them straight away on next week's session.
Okay, thanks. Bye for now.
Yep, bye for now.